Howdy folks, and welcome back to 15 Nautical Mile Arc. Today we are in Estonia, actually in Tallinn, Estonia. And why in the world are we here? There's this really high quality obscure piano brand called Estonia Piano, and it's very, very fascinating, and I'll get into more detail later, but we're going to fly over the Estonia Piano Factory today. And two, there's this Payware scenery that just came out for X-Plane of Tallinn, Estonia, and I got it on sale for $8. And as you can see, it covers an extremely large area with European buildings and landmarks and some wonderful, wonderful detail. And as you can tell, it's extremely frame rate friendly, and I wanted to check it out. I wanted to see what my $8 got me. Again, it's a sentimental purchase. That's my criteria now for purchasing Payware scenery is sentimental reasons, always I feel obligated to fly there. So today we're going to check out the Estonia Payware scenery of Tallinn and the Estonia Piano Factory, which I already know where it is. I already found it, and I will point it out when we get there. So that being said, let's have a quick look around on this airport before we hop into our Cessna and take off. This is the most GA friendly starting area I could find. And I do not have an Estonia Air livery for a Cessna 152, because it's just a trainer aircraft. But anyway, best as we can do, let's hop inside and let's get this thing going. I'm kind of finding it pretty entertaining myself here. Alright, this is a trainer aircraft. We're not going to use any instruments. We're not going to use any radios today. We're just going to fly around completely VFR and hopefully find our way back to the airport. I'm guessing we should be able to without much of a problem. Oh, let's see. What am I going to do here? Turn that on, turn some stuff on. Yeah, we just got to put in our mixture and prime it a couple times and start it up. Just like that. And I learned a while ago, as long as I don't accidentally bump F12 on my keyboard, then everything should be okay. Let's get our lights going there. Like I said, no radios or anything. We're just gonna fly around VFR and we're gonna have fun. So, let's see, let's open that up. Let's hop outside and let's do a taxi to runway 8. Alright, and away we go. We're actually gonna go that away, but we'll take the taxiway here. And I'm quite excited to check out this piano factory from the air. I did preview it using Google Maps, and the building is in the correct spot with the correct shape and everything. All these buildings here are exactly right. And it's nice to have something in Eastern Europe that looks Eastern European, because X-Plane is notorious for their autogen being Americanized no matter where in the world you are. That's supposed to change with X-Plane 11, which at the time I recorded this, as I've said before, does not exist yet. Wow, this is so frame rate friendly. This is insane. I love it. Alright, kind of funny that we're even taxiing down here at all, because we only need like 1/8 of the runway. Let's have a look around if I can while I try to taxi. It's always hard to taxi outside, let alone looking the other way. Very cool. my taxiing going very well because I'm looking to other places. Well, that must be the main concourse there with the jetways. That looks really cool. Why are we bouncing around so much? Anyway, let's get our flaps out. I never turn on taxi lights. I don't think this has taxi lights. I can't tell because this is in the way. I can't look down and make this corner. Not going to happen. Yes, I'm going to try. Nope, no taxi lights in this one, just landing lights. Alright. We are about our runway 8. So we will stop here a minute. And crunch and set the parking brake. And close our window. And turn on the pitot heat, nav, beacon, and landing lights. The beacon should have been on already, sorry. Flaps are down, there we go. Let's get some nice comfortable temperatures going on here. And we don't, let's see, is there a carb heat in this one? I swore there's a carb heat. Yeah, they're right in front of us. Okay. We'll worry about that later. Alright, parking brake off, give it some throttle, and let's get out to the runway. And I'm actually going to try something. I'm going to try to do an outside view while we take off. I'm kind of nervous and skeptical about this, but such a small, easy aircraft at a huge airport with a huge runway, I think we can do it. So we will give that a shot here once we're ready to go. Long threshold here. We could probably take off and be airborne before we get to the end of this threshold from here. Obviously this is a very major airport in Europe, even though I believe there's only one runway, but it's still major given the size of the country, Estonia. Quite an amazing place, I guess. Obviously I've never been there in real life. Alright, let's get up to this line here. Okay, we are outside, and we're going to try to have a look at this airport while I take off. So, holding the brakes, throttle. I really have a feeling this isn't going to go very well. But we're going to try it. Look how, whoa! Look how tiny that airplane is. Alright, I'll watch my plane, you watch the scenery. How about that? In fact, you know what? I'm just going to let the airplane take itself off. When it's ready, it'll just lift off on its own. There we go, we're airborne. So the flaps in, and this isn't working. I have to hop inside. That was funny. Okay, well, we're gonna have some serious problems with the authorities after that one. But that's okay. Let's hop outside again. And oh my gosh, why am I having such a hard time straightening this out? There we go. There we go. Now we are headed over this way. This is not the way I planned on doing this. So let's actually gain some altitude and circle back. Alright, we haven't circled back yet. But in the process, we are, what, about 40 degrees? There's that cool little tower up there. I don't know what it is. I did not research Estonia before I started this flight. There's your airport. Okay. I'm just focusing on finding the piano factory, so I don't know what any of this stuff is other than obstructions for a pilot. So we'll circle out here around this tower, and then we will go back towards the piano factory. This is okay, but I only paid $8 for it, and at least the buildings look European. But it's kind of cartoonish, but that's okay. Again, it's a sentimental purchase. Alright, airport's behind us. Let's turn around and head that direction, and I'll show you where this piano factory is. It looks really nice though. This is awesome. From inside the cockpit. While we do our coordinated turn, even though it's a little more than standard rate. I just wanted to loop around before we got back to the airport. And I believe we pretty much circled that tower, although I can't see it from this angle. So if you look right above the nose, you've got that small pointy building. Over to the right of that, you will see a park, which you can't quite make out from here. And then alongside the park, there is a building that looks like a backwards E, and that is our piano factory. And we will get there in a moment, and I will point it out in detail. Looks like we got some cruise ships in the harbor. Probably draw back our throttle quite a bit. We don't need to do 120 miles an hour, or knots, I guess, on this one. There's the airport once again. Ooh, those must be hand-placed trees. But anyway, the gist of it, the meat of this scenery, other than the airport, is this downtown area. In fact, take a screenshot of that while we're here. Got some cruise ships. Alright, so I have spotted the Piano Factory. Man, that black tower just above the left wing totally looks like a Minecraft witch. That's pretty funny. So all these buildings are obviously hand placed and accurate shapes, accurate textures and colors. Alright, so if you look just above the left wing, see this park, this L-shaped park? And the biggest building along the left side of that park with the orange roof, not the white roof, but the orange roof. That is our Piano Factory. And hop inside and have a look this way. And draw back our throttle here. So but keep our altitude so we can slow down. Always throttle just decreases your altitude. Alright, so there we go. Right in the dead center of that window. That is our Estonia Piano Factory. So are you... Whoops, I bumped my flaps on my yoke. So are you in the mood for a story about Estonia pianos? Of course you are. Glad you asked. While we check out the rest of the scenery. It's too soon to go back. Estonia pianos. Way back in time, when Estonia was under Russian control or Soviet Union control, they were required to be the only piano manufacturer. And they made decent, strong pianos. They were good, they were okay. But then they folded when Estonia got its independence. Then one of the top Juilliard graduates, Dr. Lau, had stake in the company. And when they folded, he bought the rest of the company. And he still owns the company. He scrapped everything pretty much and started the pianos over from scratch. And he's been making refinements ever since. As of 2005, Estonia's smallest grand piano has been considered much higher quality than Steinway, but it costs a quarter as much. So think about that. If you know your piano brands, it's better quality than Steinway, but it costs less or about the same as an entry-level Kawai grand piano. And the reason why that is very significant is because Estonia's smallest grand is 5 feet 6 inches, which is borderline kind of okay, kind of too small for a grand piano. However, people who know a thing or two about pianos say that even though it's 5'6", it is a very significant instrument and completely feasible in that size. You would never buy another brand at 5 feet 6 inches for a grand piano. It's too small. But for Estonia, they've done it. They've designed it in a way to have a small piano fit in the living room, yet have the characteristics and desirability of a much, much larger grand. Pretty big deal. But Estonia doesn't advertise. They're a pianist piano, which means if you're looking for a piano for your kids, you've never heard of it. If you're a professional pianist, you either have one or you want one. If you can get over the snobbery of Steinway and Boysendorfer. And then from there, their pianos get better and better. As of 2013, their larger grands have become super high-end. So if you want a high-end grand piano, but pay entry-level prices, Estonia is the brand for you. But they only make 300 a year right now, so good luck finding one. There happens to be a dealer in a suburb of where I live, and I tried one. And there is the story about Estonia piano. In case you're confused why I do play piano professionally in terms of I gig on the instrument, I do recordings for contemporary composers, I teach piano. Used to be my main gig, now it's my secondary gig. I do have a completely unrelated day job. But anyway, this scenery is impressive in that all these buildings, at least compared to Google Satellite, are exactly right. This is amazing. This takes a lot of work. Oh, look at that. We happen to be lined up with the runway. So I guess, by coincidence, I guess this is a good time probably to head back to the airport. If you were looking out the window during my story time, you would notice that we pretty much saw everything. The photorealism of the ground, I would not call this photoreal. I don't know if they're trying to claim it's photoreal. Like the Pullman Moscow scenery is photoreal ground texture. I would not assume this is. It does not look photoreal. Looks like cartoon buildings stuck on top of grass, which is fine. Again, it was cheap, $8 for this, and most people would buy for the airport. I'm probably the only person in the entire flight sim world that purchased it because of a piano. At least I'm pretty confident I'm the only one who's purchased the scenery because of the piano. But the airport itself obviously is amazing and complete and accurate and significant. So I think I need to hop inside to come in for my landing because we're way too high. So let's just kill throttle and dump on down here. I have a feeling those freight trains are probably passenger trains in real life. I believe Estonia has free public transportation, period. Estonia has very interesting economics. That's one reason why they can build a tier A, extremely high-end piano and charge a quarter of its competition because of its economics. Their factory does pay well, though. We're not talking cheap labor here. We're talking, highly paid, highly skilled piano technicians and builders. But they ship 97% or 96% of their pianos to the United States. And we get to benefit from the economics and quality parts. Parts come from Germany and England and other parts of Europe. Same components that go into higher-end pianos, but the design of an Estonia by Dr. Lau himself. And quite the big deal. Alright, flaps. I'm coming in kind of fast, but I don't care because we have a very, 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 very long runway for this airplane. I guess I should at least cross the threshold first. Oh, we're going to touch down right at the edge of the threshold, aren't we? Ready? There, now we can bring back throttle. There we go. And flare. And there we go. Nice. Alright, now I'm going to use the brakes. We're just going to roll this out. Alright, where should we go? I think we took already parked over to the left. Alright, use a little bit of brakes so we can make this turn. And let's turn landing lights off now so you don't forget. It's always funny to fly a tiny airplane at a huge airport. Everything is just so vast. And I believe I mentioned in my previous video or two that I think I personally do a better job landing at smaller airports and tiny runways, probably because you have to concentrate a lot more. Obviously I don't... Oh, whoops. This is the high-speed exit for the other direction. Yeah. So anyway, that kind of just strengthens my point, doesn't it? On a tiny runway, at a tiny airport, you have to concentrate a lot harder. And you have to be a lot more precise, of course, laterally and vertically, because you got to land at the end of the runway. But at these big runways, you kind of just fart around and just land. I don't know. Alright, looks like there's some fuel over there. At least I think that's fuel. Why are we bouncing around again? This must be the texture. There's another manufacturer that... Is it Nimbus Simulations? Where when you're on a taxiway, it bounces all over the place. Actually, you know what? This is, we're breaking the law here. This is, that's fuel for, like... Whoops. That is fuel for the airport vehicles, not for an airplane. Alright, we're just going to continue back to where we came. We started out by that DHL jet. So that is where we will go. Alright, let's just get this thing parked here. Man, that line is like a quarter of the width of the whole aircraft, the body of the aircraft. Alright, let's stop right there. And set the parking brake. And turn off a few things here. And get rid of that whiny battery sound. Ashtrays open. Windows open. Doors open. Alright, let's hop outside. Alright, let's get our static elements out there. Alright, well, that was a quick one on purpose. We kind of had a 2-for-1 here. We got to check out this Payware scenery of Tallinn, Estonia, and we got to talk about Estonia pianos. Talk about bringing in different interests into one place. That's kind of funny. This airport itself, though, this is awesome. Like I said, most people who would buy this would get it for the airport, obviously, not so much for the surrounding area. And given this is an airport for jets and major transportation, you're probably not going to be doing a VFR around Tallinn. So some of the things that bugged me about this scenery probably won't apply to most people, because you're going to be flying in and out here so fast you're not going to notice. But yeah, I wouldn't call this VFR scenery, unlike some other Payware scenery, which is definitely VFR scenery. This is not. But it definitely gets the point across, and it definitely gets some European architecture into X-Plane. At least X-Plane 10. X-Plane 11 is supposed to have better European architecture. But anyway, at the risk of repeating myself over and over, if you found me by accident, please subscribe. If you are a regular subscriber, thank you, and thank you for your continuing support. So here we are, and with all that being said, I will catch you on the next one.